Hi boys and girls, I'm going to go over pages 235 and 236 in your English 5 workbook, and I'm actually going to repeat myself because for some reason my videos are cutting off the first part of my video. So let me try this one more time just in case it gets cut off. I'm going over adverbs. In fact, this is my second video for this lesson because the first one didn't record. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have your workbook, you should get it out and go along with me. This is a difficult lesson. Actually, most of this chapter is pretty tricky. So let me go over the definitions up here. It says adverb. Adverbs describe verbs and answer the question how, when, or where. So that's what I highlighted because it's very important to know that adverbs describe how, when, and where. Adverbs often end in ly, but they don't always end with ly, so you have to be careful about that. Adverbs may come before or after the verb. In a diagram, an adverb is written below the verb that it describes. Get my pencil. So they have an example right here. Hurricanes without moisture quickly weaken. So the word quickly is an adverb that describes the verb weaken. That's why they have the little arrow right here. For this sentence, you would use this diagram with the simple subject, the line, and the verb, because remember this line right here always separates the subject and the verb. The adverb goes down this line because it describes the verb. So for example, in this sentence, hurricanes is the subject. What are the hurricanes doing? They weaken. That's the verb. And the adverb that describes weaken is quickly. So that's how you diagram that sentence. For the second sentence, the storm hit the island today. The verb is, the verb is hit, that is correct. I'm getting distracted, my phone is beeping. And the word that describes the verb is today, because it tells when. That's why the arrow. I apologize again. So this is the diagram you would use for this sentence. What is the sentence all about? It's about the storm. Remember, this is those special adjectives from the previous lesson. What did the storm do? It hit. And how did it hit? It hit today. That's your adverb. And what did it hit? It hit the island. That's your direct object. Alright, so if you notice on the bottom, I already have the answers put in because I already did this video once. So I'm doing it a second time. For the guided practice for the first part, using this box right here to categorize the adverbs. And you're describing them or categorizing them by how, where, and when. So the two adverbs in this box that describe how are slowly and correctly. Where is northward and there. And when is yesterday and again. So I'll pause a second so if you want to, you can, or pause the video, fill those words in, then hit play again. Alright, number 4 and 5. Says underline the adverb in each sentence. Draw an arrow to the verb the adverb describes. So number 4, hurricane researchers nervously gathered storm data. The verb in this sentence is gathered, and then the adverb that describes gathered is nervously. So you're going to underline nervously because that's the adverb and draw an arrow to the verb. Number 5, hurricanes frequently produce inland tornadoes. Produce is your verb. Produce is your verb. Frequently is the adverb that describes produce. For number 6, okay, so that's what you do. You underline the adverb, draw, and then draw the arrow. Alright, for diagramming, it says label the sentence pattern and then diagram the sentence. Number 6, hurricanes rapidly move tropical heat. Hurricanes is your subject. Move is the verb. And how do they move? Or what do they move? They move heat. That's your direct object. So this is how you diagram the sentence. And then you put in your details. How do they move? They move it rapidly. So that's why you draw the line and you write the word rapidly there. What kind of heat? It was tropical heat. And that's how you diagram the sentence. Now, if it said what kind of hurricane, then you would put a line here and you would write the word that describes that hurricane. But there's not, so you don't need to. Sorry, we'll move the camera. There we go. All right. Oh, one thing I forgot to go over, my apologies, is this green box right here. It says adverbs that mean no are negative. Common negative adverbs include not, never, nowhere, and rarely. And then they give you two examples. Rainbows are never found in the sky after a snowstorm. Rainbows aren't found in the sky after a snowstorm. So remember these words right here are negative adverbs. And the reason why I went back and reviewed that is because the first sentence in your independent practice has that negative adverb, not. So we're going to underline not. And then what are the two words that describe not? Is did and leave. That sentence was tricky, and that's why I went ahead and did the second one, because it's a little bit easier. A pilot gathers weather information daily. Gathers is the verb, and how is that information gathered? Daily is your adverb, so draw an arrow from the adverb to the verb. I want you to try 3, 4, and 5, and then you check your answers when you're all done. I did go ahead and do the diagramming of the sentences. Number 6, that hurricane completely destroyed the crop. What is that sentence all about? It's about the hurricane. So hurricane is your subject. What did the hurricane do? It destroyed. And what did it destroy? The direct object is the crop. So when you diagram, we have that special verb right here, that. So we're going to put that on this line right here because it describes hurricane. And then how did it destroy? It completely destroyed. That's your adverb. And then we have the other special verb right there, the for crop. Or adjective. I'm sorry, I keep calling them verbs. They're adjectives. Number 7. Those fierce winds headed westward yesterday. This sentence was easy to label. It just had a subject and a verb. So the subject was that sentence all about. It's about winds. And they're those fierce winds. Those two words describe winds. And then the other two words describe how it headed. It headed westward and yesterday. And that's it. All right, and the last part, I'm going to let you do, says use those 7 sentences up here and write the adverbs that answer each of the questions how, when, and where. So there's 2 adverbs in these sentences that describe how. There's 1 that describes where, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adverbs that describe when. When you're all done with this page, go ahead and click on the PDF file and check your answers and see how you did, and let me know if you have any questions or concerns. You don't have to do the apply and write. And once again, because sometimes my videos get cut off in the beginning, this lesson is for adverbs in your English 5 book. It's page 235 and 236.